Hello again and welcome back to Storm Talk. Today we are going to be looking at the brand new The Butcher, um, melee assassin from the Diablo universe, brand new, just released today. I do apologize if I sound a little weird. I'm a little nasally, getting over a sinus cold. But I figured putting this out on day one is probably a little more important than getting over a stupid cold. So, you can take a moment to read his bio. He is the Flesh Carver. We'll take a moment to look at his skin. You can see his horns aren't quite on the screen, which kind of sucks. But we can kind of see, for the most part, the idea. Um, for the most part, anybody who's played Diablo 3 is kind of familiar with this guy. I think I've had this axe like a million times. Um, yeah. I imagine this is kind of what Stitches looks like if you staple him up, also, and kind of taint him with some demon instead of undead. So let's look at his abilities. His trait is Fresh Meat. He gathers strength by killing enemies and then collecting their meat. This has the standard 1 for minions, 3 for heroes, and I believe your strength goes up by 1%, and you have a max of like 25. I really should remember this because I just double checked this like right before this started. Anyway, his abilities, or basic abilities, are Hamstring, 50 mana cost, has a cooldown of 4 seconds. It deals damage and slows the enemies by 50%. It also refreshes your attack animation, which causes your next attack to hit instantly, meaning that you want to punch somebody in the face, then drop this on them so you can instantly punch them in the face again. This is a big mechanic for League of Legends and Dota, although we haven't really seen it used very often in Heroes, so it is interesting to see it explicitly stated like that. Butcher's Brand. You deal damage to a target. It costs 60 mana, and it has a 14-second cooldown. You deal damage to a target. Your basic attacks against them will heal you for 75%. Healing doubles when it's used against enemy heroes. This gives the Butcher a lot of healing potential. He also has another talent, which we'll go into. I'm talking, shush. He has a talent that I'll go into, which basically gives him the ability to get his ass kicked. Step into a minion lane, just eat, and go, oh, by the way, I was at 7 health, I'm back at full, come at me, my axe is bigger than your face. His next ability is Ruthless Onslaught. It costs 75 mana, it has a 20-second cooldown. You charge at enemies and become unstoppable. You gain movement speed as you charge. If you reach the target, they are stunned for 1 second and take damage. You notice all of his abilities do kind of, like, at level 0, they do kind of low damage. But at the same time, you also notice these are stacking. You hit somebody with Butcher's Brand, you charge at them with Onslaught, you slam them down with Hamstring, and while they're stuck sitting there, like stunned, slowed, and just you're pounding in their face, you're healing, they're losing health. It's amazing on the inside. Also, it just makes you feel really powerful. Every time you punch somebody in the face, your health goes up. It is nice. His heroic abilities are Lamb to the Slaughter. 75 mana with a 60-second cooldown. You throw a hitching post that attaches to the nearest enemy hero. After a 1-second delay, this deals 75 damage and causes the enemy to be chained to the post for 4 seconds. And Furnace Blast. After a 3-second delay, fire explodes around you, dealing 300 damage to enemies. This can be cast while you are charging towards them with Ruthless Onslaught. So, to kind of put these into effect, Lamb to the Slaughter is your basic, don't move, you're standing here, I'm going to beat your face in. You drop the post, they're stuck there for a couple of seconds. It's effective crowd control, whereas Furnace Blast is pretty much the same as Nova's Orbital Strike, except it is targeted around you instead of over there. So I think I'm trying to think of a good way to say this. It's kind of like a mix of Orbital Strike from Nova and Diablo's um, Stunning Explosion Tech, Armageddon. So you kind of run it, you charge it up, and then you're running in, and then you explode on somebody. And it's kind of like a mixture of that, because it's focused on you, but you can also move it, and it just does massive damage. Okay, let's go ahead and look at some of his skins. Here we have the Flesh Carver, his normal skin. Get some color variations, just kind of to be expected. His Master skin, with the same color variations. However, his orange skin, as you can see in his normal, gives him an orange tinge to his skin, where his Master orangish skin, it gives him an orange armor, but black skin. Also makes that axe look kind of like piratey. You got that gold smile, like it's half rapper, half pirate or something. And then you have the Iron Butcher. Looks like a raid boss from World of Warcraft. With the green and, again, with the orange variation. For the most part, he sticks to the same color palettes. So we're going to go ahead and just go in with this. Bright, colorful, cheery. Now we'll go in with this. That Red Fire. Red Fire makes sense. But for the most part, his color palette stays about the same, regardless of the skins, where it's really awkward, because some of them, they'll change, be like, oh yeah, red, blue, and green, and then blue, green, and purple. But anyway, so to demonstrate, you have Hamstring. Simple, effective. And the other ones I need to have minions on board. I really wish I could turn on minions without turning on heroes. So, Butcher's Brand. You just smack somebody with your little sickle, and it hits them. You can tell they've been branded because they have that X on them, and every time I hit them, it kills me. As I was saying with Hamstring, you instantly hit after Hamstring drops. And with Ruthless Onslaught, you can see the area of effect around it. Let's get to the edge. It is a charge, however, let's see if I can try to demonstrate this. You can see there is a charge timer on it, so he could, in theory, he won't, but he could, in theory, run away. Now, as you see, every time something dies, it's dropping this blood print. I should actually end these real quick since I'm about to hit level 2. I have 18, you can see over here next to my health bar. This is my fresh meat. Minions drop 1, heroes drop 3. I can gain up to 25, and they give me 1% attack damage. And since this resets, I'm going to go ahead and reset that real quick, just so I can be at 0 when I go through the stats. Hamstring, 50 mana, 4 seconds, but the damage has gone up by 10. Does 50, does 30, Butcher's Mark does 32, and Ruthless Onslaught does 70. So, let's go ahead and take a look at the character stats. He has 920 health at the start. This is kind of high for an assassin, but extremely low if he was expected to be any type of a tank. He regains 1.91 health per second, He has 500 mana with 3 points of regeneration every second. He has an attack range of 1.5. He is very standard melee. He does 67 damage, has an attack speed of 1.11, and, well, that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and level him up to 30, and you can see his stats grow as he levels. Okay, now that we're at level 30, he has 6,720 HP with a 14.04 regeneration, 790 mana with a 5.83 regeneration. He now does 531 damage on melee hit. We'll go ahead and activate some minions so I can kind of show you the fresh meat a little bit. Well, that'll work. 7 of them. As you can see, attack damage is up. It goes up by 1% for every bit of food I have. So it's pretty good. Now let's go ahead and take a look at talents. Of course, we'll be taking the first 2 talents simply because we're going to be doing the locked talents. So we start at level 1 with Invigoration. If Hamstring hits a hero, its mana cost is reduced by half, and its cooldown is reduced by 1. It is a 4 cooldown. It has a cooldown of 4 seconds. So half of that mana is kind of nice. 1 second off that cooldown, it's pretty good. It makes it kind of spammy if you're hitting people. But the charge time of it can kind of be a throw off. If you don't really need a slow, I really wouldn't suggest going for it. Because just plain and simple, you go after somebody, it doesn't take too long, but yeah, you're slowing somebody. It does less damage than your melee attack. So, as we move on, you have the passive block, periodically damage received hero block, general talent, you know this stuff. Chop meat. It increases the damage of Hamstring by 50% to non-heroic targets, and minions killed by Hamstring will drop 3 stacks of meat. This is kind of hard to suggest having. This sounds really good. Be like, hey, I'm going to get up in there, I'm going to smack, like, you can get up to 25. There's a talent here that increases it up to 35. Yeah, and you don't really get any more. So, up to 35. Let's say you're planning on taking the up to 35. Well, let's just kind of count these minions a little bit. So, that's 3 soldier minions, 3 archer minions, 1. That's 7 minions. If we go with 35, some rudimentary math, that's about 5 minion waves. If you don't take chopped meat. If you take chopped meat, you're looking at 2 minion waves. That sounds great. You just go in there, boom, boom, charge, start roaming. But overall, it just has a very mitigating effect, since, yeah, you're one-shotting minions. Well, I don't even think that one-shots minions, because you still punch harder than that. But you're doing tons of damage to minions, but you're ramping up without really the ability to do anything. Now, the next ability is the one that I'd probably suggest. This gives you a lot of survivability, and if you can get away, this lets you just keep coming. You heal for 3% of your maximum health when you collect fresh meat. Just plain and simple, you heal for 3%. Don't forget, you drop your Butcher's Brand, you can also heal from punching from that. So, just go in here and kind of punch somebody in the face real quick. Turn them off, and like as you can see, like they stick around. 3% of 6,000 health, or 7,000 health basically, is what? 200 health, give or take. This also allows meat to constantly be dropping. You're not able to pick it up after 25. However, like, it could help you if you're going for Abathur or Abathor. I don't know how to pronounce that word. It could help you pick that up a little bit quicker, but for the most part, you're just healing, and that is awesome. Anyway, for the locked talents, we're going to go ahead and take Invigorate.
Choose a talent.
At level 4, you have Flail Axe. Increase the length of hamstring by 40%. You have Relentless Pursuit. Reduces the cooldown of Ruthless Onslaught by 40% upon impact. It's 20 seconds. That would drop it down to 12 seconds, assuming you hit your target. It says on impact. It's assuming you hit your target. They're just trying to obfuscate that. You have Cheap Shot. Hamstring does 100% more damage to targets that are affected by a slow, root, or stun. Now, this is kind of nice when you remember that, 1, Ruthless Assault stuns, but also this Lamb to the Slaughter is a chain. Now, I'm not sure if chaining counts against that. We'll probably check that out. But it says movement impairing effect. It does specify roots, stuns, and slows, so I'm assuming. We'll check that out in a minute, or when we get down to that. But that just sounds nice. I'm personally going to go with Unrelenting Pursuit, because 20-second cooldown, about 40% off that. That is great. At level 7, we have Brutal Strike. After using Hamstring, your next basic attack deals an additional 50% damage. Remember, you're also healing for 75% of that, or 150% of that against enemy heroes. So, yeah, we're talking some nice numbers here. Insatiable Blades. Butcher's Brand now increases healing from 75% to 100%. Remember, this number is doubled against heroes. Abathior, whatever, increases maximum fresh meat from 25 to 35. And you only lose half upon death. Remember, each of those is 1% attack damage. It's kind of nice. And Final Assault. Increases Ruthless Assault's range by 33%. And this causes you to lunge at an enemy when you are close to impact. We're going to take Insatiable Blade. Healing is nice. Actually, we're going to take Brutal Strike, because we don't really need healing in this arena. Just kind of being able to punch them in the face really hard is nice.
Choose a talent.
We'll take Furnace Blast, because it's the first one. And let's demonstrate this in a fight a little bit. So, first off, Furnace Blast. 1, 2, 3, explosion. Kinda nice, kinda pretty. So, you can cast this while casting Ruthless Onslaught. So, as soon as I see Arthas, entire minion wave gone instantly. Pretty effective, as you saw. And that's a massive AoE attack. At level 30, that deals 1,350 damage. That is terrifying. And that's not even talking about the level 20 version. Yeah, I mean, we'll get into that. So, let's go on. At level 13, Burning Rage. General talent, I love this talent, y'all know that. Constant damage just for sitting around punching people. However, since you're not a tank, you're not actually a tank, it gets a little hard to suggest this one. Savage Charge. Ruthless Onslaught deals a bonus damage to heroes equal to 15% of their current health. That means that if you're going to use this as an initiation, you are devastating somebody instantly. You're dropping them down to 85%. If you do the combo of Furnace and Onslaught, you jump in there, you bash them down almost instantly to about 85%. Then you explode around them for 1,000 damage. You can drop someone almost instantly like that. We also get Crave Flesh. While enemies are affected by Butcher's Brand, you gain 30% movement speed. This is really great for chasing them down, pretty obviously, and Spell Shield. I mean, don't have to explain that too much.
Choose a talent.
At level 16, we have Crippling Slam. Hamstring slow no longer fades out, and its duration is increased by 25%. So, they will have a 50% slow for 2.5 seconds. Currently, the way it works is they're hit for 50% slow, but it fades over 2 seconds, so at about 1 second, they're only at about 25% slow. But still, I mean, that's still kind of good. You also have Enrage, a general talent. Receiving damage is reduced by 50%. Yeah. If you take damage that reduces you below 50%, you become enraged. You gain a bonus movement or attack speed, reduced durations from stuns and crowd controls, and you're pretty much just punching people in the face over and over again. Blood Frenzy, I prefer this one a little bit better. I'm not going to take it this time because it is a locked talent at start, but your attack speed is increased. Attack speed is great. Remember, his attack speed is higher than most of his abilities do in damage. I mean, we are sitting here with almost 20 blood. We have 600 punch in the face damage. So we'd increase the attack speed by an additional 20%. I'm trying to do the math of that in my head, and that sounds really stupid. I think that would put us somewhere around 1.38, 1.3, like 1.4, something like that. That's pretty good. That's almost 1.5 attacks every second. So we're going to take Crippling Slam, just because Enrage. Actually, no, I can take Enrage. I can force that to trigger off of a tower. So I'm going to show off Enrage.
Choose a talent.
Now at level 20, we have Fires of Hell. The Furnace Blast explodes twice. That is sexy. He also has Nexus Blade. Basic attacks deal more damage. I'm going to be honest. This is probably what I'd be taking the majority of the time. You deal an additional 20% damage. You slow the target so they can't get away from you. That way you don't have to take all these hamstring abilities. It's like, oh yeah, slows them down, allows you to spam it. Like, no, screw that. I think I'd probably take that instead of Slaughterhouse. And I'll say why in a moment. And then Bolt of the Storm, simple teleport. Actually, when I'll say why in a moment. I'll say why when we get there. Fires of Hell, simple enough. 3-second explosion. 3-second explosion. I'm gonna go ahead and summon some minions in. And we're just mostly going to use Furnace Blast. We're going to activate Furnace Blast. We're going to charge in. Hit him until he's at 85. I didn't hit him with my Butcher's Brand, but man, was he fucked. I mean, he's dead. That was quick. That was fast. Now to see if I can get myself low on health. It's a little bit hard because, I mean, I am a pretty strong beast at the moment. Now, as you can see, I've now been enraged, doing tons of damage. And it only has a couple of second cooldown. So I come in here, get hit. Huh, that actually doesn't trigger it. That is interesting. I wonder if it actually just doesn't go off cooldown. We'll go ahead and toggle a minion real quick. We'll go ahead and heal up on this guy.
victorious.
But let me go ahead and get damaged here. Apparently I must have accidentally triggered that or something. Let's go through. Now, you notice that since I'm being slowed by the fort, pull up my stats, the rage actually kind of evens out my attack speed. So you could actually take Enraged as a counter. Like if you're gonna go, like if you're focusing on buildings, you can take Enraged as a counter to the slow given by forts and keeps. I know that's kind of a long explanation for something so simple, but trying to find the proper wording without saying something like, fuck yeah, awesome, pants, overpowered, smash face. Okay. Now, this one's going to be a lot faster. You know the drill by now. We're going to take Victuals. Healing. Massive amounts of healing is great. Let's see here. We'll go ahead and take Unrelenting Pursuit again. Actually, no, we'll take Cheap Shot. We meant to take Cheap Shot. We're going to take Abathur, because more flesh for the Flesh God. Actually, this time, I'm going to take Final Assault. Just to show this off. I'll show you the rest of it, or the other one in a second. So, let's go ahead and toggle. I shouldn't have gone to full 30. There was no reason. I should have just stopped at 10. Anyway. So, first off, as you can see, with this ability, Ruthless Onslaught gains a jump. See if I can get him to retreat. Come on. Okay, he's retreating. Trying to see if I can jump over. Okay. Are you kidding me? I'm really not liking this guy. Screw it, you go where I tell you to go. So, as you can see, there is definitely a distance. Let's get this out of the way. However, that was actually really bad. This isn't working at all. I was gonna be like, hey, I wonder if I can jump over, but that wasn't working. Sorry about that. That was a waste of time. I do believe that can jump over walls, however, it does have a very limited, so it'd have to be small walls. But it could be really useful for taking out Abathurs, Murky Eggs, you know, the little jerks who hide in the corners that you just want to punch in the face constantly. However, this is definitely the character that is perfect for punching them in the face constantly. So, as I was saying, Victuals, Cheap Shot, Abathur, into Lamb to Slaughter. Let's see here. We'll gain some bonus movement speed, some attack speed, and let's just kind of demonstrate this one a little. As you can already see it a little bit, there is an area of effect that I can drop it in, and an area of effect where it works. If I drop it where it is not drained, it just dies instantly, and goes for the full cooldown, so you have to be very careful. So, Hamstring right now, we'll just take a look at this. Hamstring does 340 damage. If I hit him with Onslaught, and then Hamstring, it does 680. if I hit him with my pool, it still does 340. So Cheap Shot does not stack with, sadly enough, Cheap Shot does not stack with this ult. Kind of sucks a little bit, however, replace that with Unrelenting Pursuit or something of that like. Pretty nice. But anyway, let's just carve up some blood real quick. I'm resetting the minions each time so that they go to the middle, so I don't have to worry about any meat packets falling behind the walls. Okay, now that I'm at 35, this is the most powerful you can be as this guy, as the Butcher. I am doing an attack 1.5 seconds. I said 1.4. I was pretty close, I guess. I'm also doing 700 damage per punch. Just to kind of show that off a little bit. Here are some clean forts. I'll charge into one so if I can. No, I can't. I'm four-shotting a fort. 1, 2, 3, 4, change. Even with, like, because of the attack speed bonus, I'm basically hitting at my normal attack speed even when slow. This is just kind of devastating, honestly. And then, because I took all those healing things, or because I took healing... Oh, look, I'm injured. Minion wave. Minion wave equals food.
That was rather entertaining.
And now I'm at full health. Now, Slaughterhouse. Lamb to the Slaughter now change all enemies. This is a very deceptive upgrade. If you are your team's primary CC, this could be a good thing. Dropping Slaughterhouse down, well, Diablo uses Apocalypse, and Anova uses Orbital Strike, and possibly in that with a Zagara Maw, or I'm trying to think of, like, an Odin Nuke. Trying to think of some other AoE ults that just do tons of damage. Like, yeah, you can lock up the entire enemy team and just destroy them. Remember, they do have to be within that little circle. So, personally, as the Butcher, you're going to be running around dropping Lamb to... If you use Lamb to the Slaughter, you're going to be running around dropping Lamb to the Slaughter and punching people in the face. Using that to just grab one guy. So you'll probably actually want to take Nexus Blade. With Nexus Blade, I'm now dealing 800 damage per punch. Just to kind of show earlier, when I said that I was four-shotting things, 1, 2, 3, 4. No change. Just gone. Instantly. So, now to demonstrate this build, real quick, just to finish this off. He can't get away from me because not only is he being slowed by my hamstring, he's also being slowed by my Nexus Blades. I mean, there's really no reason to even show this part. Because we already know I can just walk through here. And I'm not even using my Butcher's Mark. Like, minion waves. Just the minion wave that is constantly spawning is enough to heal me more than the tower can hurt me. remember, heroes drop 3 of them. So a hero will heal you for 10% of your health. Sadly, buildings don't drop any blood, but I mean, you're walking through minion waves. Minion waves are healing you for 20% of your health. Heroes are healing you for 9% of your health. Not to mention how much health you're getting back from the brand. Seriously, this guy is a massive health regenerator. And due to the fact that, oh yeah, Hamstring, 340 damage. Butcher's Blade does 100 damage. Ruthless Assault does 360 damage. Lamb to the Slaughter does 525 damage. My basic attack does 823 damage. I could use all of my basic abilities at the same time. Like, there right here is 700 damage, and then 800 damage. I'm still doing more damage than all 3 of my basic abilities by punching you in the face once. I mean, we could argue that Q also has a punch in the face mechanic, but, I mean, seriously. This guy doesn't use a lot of mana. He builds up with mana, and then he just drops face. I'd say this guy's a very strong everything. Again, has low health. He can be picked out and killed by almost any ranged assassin without any problem. Most melee assassins have the ability to walk somebody down or to prevent their health from dropping, such as Illidan going invisible or Zeratul just teleporting away from him. So he isn't overpowered, but if you're not careful, this guy will shove his axe up your ass. Anyway, see this nice little dance animation. And this was my Storm Talk on the Butcher. I hope it was informative and enjoyable, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Have a nice day.